We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my left is Scholar Tarek.
This is for you, Brian, since you weren't here the last couple of weeks. Oh, internet wrestling community! Don't you dare be sour! Because we have risen from the ashes to school the masses! So prepare to feel the power! Ah! We're the scholars! Yes, we are! Welcome back, Brian.
Yes. Back from the Crusades, we have Scholar Brian.
So you need to do that every intro.
No, I don't.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Now
that you did it. Okay, and it was so good. Okay, it needs to be like the new opening.
Brian?
Let's not go crazy now.
Brian?
I know you're back from the Crusades and all, but we need you to calm down.
I got
From
this.
sunny Florida to shitty Jersey.
Jeff, I got this. Brian, everybody gets one. Jeff got one, and now you got one.
What do I got?
You already had your New Day intro.
I did?
The first episode he was gone. Not last week, the week before.
Intro. That was just a segment.
That wasn't a segment. I did my whole intro.
Don't remember what we're talking about.
The New Day intro that I did. I did that 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm back.
I'm super confused.
It's time.
How can I be more clear? And I'll just say it again. Everybody gets one. You don't want too much of a good thing.
You always have next week.
Survivor Series. Who survives in a non-Survivor Series match?
And for a special occasion, I'm wearing my Undertaker shirt, my first Undertaker shirt, for 25 years of the Dead Man.
Oh, yeah. This is a historic day in more...
This is a historic weekend.
Yeah, it's a historic weekend
at least
show
at least
in
for
more ways
Taker.
than one. Absolutely. But, of course, we're going to get all into that after all this. Thank you for sticking with us, by the way. We are now going to go into the way we always start off this show. The only way it can be started outside of New Day promos, with a little bit of backstage news.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and peek behind the curtain and check in on a little...
Backstage news!
News.
And, of course, there it is.
And that's the one thing I didn't miss.
Yeah, we're going to have a serious adult conversation about that.
No.
Yes.
That stays.
No.
Well, how are you going to make me stop? You can't.
I will tell you how I'm going to make you stop.
I will tackle
Hardcore
you.
pornography.
How's that going to make me stop?
It's going to keep him going, reaching his climax.
Well, let me tell you. Wow, that's 2 segues in one. Thank you, Tarek.
I got your back.
Okay, speaking... Well, what do you want to talk about first?
Brazzers.
What was
Brazzers.
Okay.
Brazzers.
So I'm guessing you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes, Eva Marie.
Yes, apparently, if you have not heard in all of Brazzers' Twitter shenanigans, after the horrendous promo that she cut this past week on NXT TV, yeah, she got an offer from Brazzers in the rich tradition of Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk, and I don't even know who else.
Seth Rollins.
And Seth Rollins.
Well, let's put it this way, okay? Something that she would probably finally be good at. Okay.
You don't even need to say anything. I mean, the jokes write themselves.
After watching the most recent episode of Botchamania...
I'd probably like her more.
Well, yeah, did you watch the most recent one of Botchamania? They show one bit with Eva Marie on NXT, and the crowd tore her apart.
I heard the live reaction from a fan cam. Oh, man.
There was
brutal.
She tries to do one boot, and it looked terrible, and the fans were just like, what was that? What was that?
And guess who's getting a title shot?
Oh.
Hey, would some spoilers make you feel better?
Spoilers would make me feel better.
Okay,
Don't do it.
Well,
it would not
I already
make me...
kind of spoiled it. So.
Okay, we'll just throw a spoiler warning for the people who don't want to know.
Yeah, spoiler/relief alert. The match was already taped. She loses.
Yay!
Good.
Yeah. Moving on. So, seriously, Eva I don't care to see that ever again on any sort of screen. Just go away, please. But anyway, back to the other point of that
climax.
Yes, speaking of that, you know what's coming up? Don't say it. Wrestle Kingdom 10.
I was gonna say Wrestle Kingdom 10. Why'd you stop me?
We're the winner of the climax.
I you know what?
Yes.
I gave my fill of that one last week, so yeah, you can go ahead and fill all the climax you want.
Yeah, thank
The
you.
one who had the epic climax gets his shot.
And clearly we're talking about Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Rainmaker Okada for the title, once again. But the big news this week is that Wrestle Kingdom 10, we have confirmation, it will be coming in with an English broadcast again.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
This time with Matt Stryker and Kevin Kelly, of all people.
And we can watch it at 5 o'clock in the morning.
To be fair, there is going to be a replay.
I'll watch the
For
replay.
East Coast time.
At 7 o'clock in the morning.
More like 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, that
good.
works.
Yeah.
Good. I like that. That's good.
Knowing me, I'm still probably going to set my alarm and watch it live. But
Of
whatever.
course.
Well, of course you are.
I'm a crazy man.
You're more of a morning person than both of us.
I'm only a morning person because I need to be.
Yeah, 5 o'clock is like 2 hours before I have to go to work. So, yeah, not going to work. That's it.
All right. While we're on the topic of wrestling around the world...
Around the world, around the world.
Thank
Continue.
you. Anyway, in the world of Lucha Libre, apparently a certain guy from CMLL who wrestled under the name La Sombra just got recently signed to WWE.
I actually just read this morning. I actually don't know anything about him.
Neither do I. Apparently he had a short stint in New Japan for a little while, but that's all I really know about him.
You know what? Sometimes that's a good thing, though, not knowing anything about a person going into them signing a contract, because it's rare that you get completely new superstars who you've never heard of before. So, hey, bring them in, give them a shot, let's see what's up.
Yeah, I only saw one little short clip of him doing, I think, a turnbuckle moonsault onto Shinsuke Nakamura. So, hey, he's got that.
Turnbuckle moonsault, good enough for me. Let's go.
And
promising.
I just read that this isn't in your notes. I actually do have a little backstage news of my own.
What's that?
Which I just read today as well. Austin Aries showed up at the NXT at
I just saw that.
sale for an audition.
Austin Aries shows up for an audition. There's talks about AJ Styles.
NXT is really building up.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is crazy.
Do I believe that AJ Styles will sign with NXT?
I doubt.
I doubt
Probably
it.
not.
I doubt it really. But even talks, even AJ Styles talking to Triple H is a big deal at this point.
Would it be something similar to what Samoa Joe, his contract states?
Considering I don't even remember what Samoa Joe's exact contract details are right now, the only I'm going to say maybe the only real thing I've heard come up in the conversation as far as AJ goes is most of the time with NXT the standard indie guy contract is they normally take a little bit of something of a salary hit first just when they start at NXT to take the risk of jumping up the card to make the big money. That is basically what AJ is looking at now. He can either stay in New Japan with the Bullet Club where he's got all this, where he's got to be making some decent money, especially as a former champ.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine he's suffering, but now the decision is, what's his family going to want? What would be best for him, and how far does he really think he's going to go in WWE?
And how good does that WWE money sound?
Yeah.
And really, with the family thing, he's probably, his family probably didn't follow him to Japan. You know what I mean? So it's like, be closer to home and whatever. So it's like, would you rather stay in New Japan where you're far away from your family, but you have good work and you have good matches and you're the world champion at some point?
Yeah,
or do you want to, or would you take the steady paycheck to be closer to your family at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really tough decision for anybody to make, let alone AJ.
I can see AJ signing the contract, signing an NXT contract just for that, just so he can be home, closer to home. Plus, the one thing that about NXT is they actually do acknowledge your independent circuit history.
Yeah.
So him showing up will be like, oh, it's AJ Styles, it's his first match. No, it's like this. Oh my God, it's AJ Styles. He's here. Mm-hmm. So he is a name, and he'll probably get good name money.
Well, here's hoping. Hopefully, it's not a total NXT newbie status, but again,
he would.
Only time will tell.
He would come in Samoa Joe style.
Yeah, exactly.
He better, or else there's no way he's coming.
Because AJ Styles to me is a bigger name than Samoa Joe. So it's like if Samoa Joe came in the way he did, then AJ Styles needs to come in
better.
See, Samoa Joe came in with Kevin Owens. AJ Styles comes in with Finn Balor.
I like that.
But it doesn't interfere or anything. He just sort of too sweets him and walks out. Move ruined.
And now we should move on because it just got killed. It just...
He just stole your douche thunder right now.
Hey, you want to talk about douche thunder? Let's go to Scotland.
Why not?
Around the world, around the world.
Okay.
This
What
really
do you
is
guys know about ICW?
I really don't know anything.
I know that apparently Drew Galloway and Grotto put on an amazing...
So you have heard of Grotto?
Yes, I have. Grotto, Grado. All I know is that they put on... I didn't watch it, but they were said to put on like amazing 5-star match of the year quality candidate over the weekend or something like that.
Oh yes, and you know what? What's really crazy? Since you know who Grado is,
you got to show me. You got to show me some like matches.
Do you know? Yeah, Tarek, you don't know Grado.
I do not.
Brian, you know Grado. Can you tell us what exactly Grado looks like? Who is Grado?
I can't say it without laughing. You go ahead.
Okay,
because you guys are sucking at this. I'm going to look it up myself.
Basically, he is like DVD Phil Scottish edition.
Oh, dear God.
But you know what? Yeah, he looks like that. His theme song is a techno remix version of Madonna's Like a Prayer.
You know what? I like that song. It's okay.
I know.
And I mean, and it also proves...
I mentioned that the two biggest guys, the most popular over guys in ICW right now, are Drew Galloway and Grado.
And it proves, okay, if Drew Galloway... It proves that the WWE dropped the ball on Drew Galloway, because some of the best stuff I've seen this year, like he took TNA by storm for the short term that he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the matches were great. The WWE, once that whole scandal with Taryn Terrell and Drew Galloway happened outside, the whole domestic abuse thing, and they fired Tiffany, and they fired Taryn, and they put Drew in the 3MB. Okay, the WWE dropped the ball on this guy huge, because he's putting on 5-star matches across the country, across the world, really. Because he's going to India now. Mm-hmm. Okay, he spends most of his time overseas. NJPW should look him up. Really?
Yeah, it's very likely that he might make an appearance down there somewhere down the line. But really, the big happening this week is this. At their big 5-star match at their last pay-per-view, Grado actually beat Drew Galloway for the ICW heavyweight title.
Well, did you know how many heavyweight titles Drew Galloway was holding at the time?
I have absolutely no idea.
At some point last year, or earlier this year. Okay, I'm pretty sure he had like 4 or 5 World Heavyweight titles.
Wow. Yeah, ICW is like the only place I know that Drew Galloway actually works consistently now. But either way, this was the match where I really started hearing about Grado, especially his entrance, because he is so over. I'm not sure if you've ever experienced what it sounds like when you've got like thousands of drunken Scotsmen singing along to like a prayer. But it is an experience.
I guess I gotta see this because I'm looking at these pictures. He's not leaving an impression on me. He just looks like
you think that, right?
He looks like a big goob.
He looks like
that's
a big
the
goob.
point. And then you watch his matches, and it's like, where did that come from?
I guess I gotta watch it. You gotta show me some of his videos.
You can tell that they have great chemistry together because they actually teamed up in TNA. For a short while, they were going up against the TNA version of the Bullet Club, or whatever. MVP, MVP. it was MVP, Kenny King, Bobby Lashley. I don't want to sound racist, but a whole bunch of black people just teaming up against
black
each other.
wrestlers. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go, Brian.
The Nation of Domination, really, of the TNA. And they were like, this company's ours. We've got all the titles. And Drew Galloway was like, fuck that shit. And then
I got Grado. What do you got?
I got Grado and this Japanese dude. You've got Bobby Lashley, people who can kill me.
It's your sale.
But we're here to celebrate wrestling. None of this talking crap. So let's fight.
Yeah, but still, the short version, Grado made a fan out of me. And to cap it all off, I typed out a tweet about him, and he liked the tweet. So yeah.
There you go.
Grado
when indie wrestling makes watching Raw worth it. That's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Remembering what we liked about wrestling in the first place.
Oh yeah, it's just pure, unfiltered fun. It's just fun. Anyway, speaking of fun, let's get right down to it. It's time to talk about WWE Survivor Series 2016.
2015.
What did I say?
2016.
Wow, we're in the
future.
A
year in the future.
Scholars of Time segment out of nowhere.
I don't want to be 29 yet.
Learn to love it. Anywho. First match on the card, or at least this is the first one I'm doing here. It's probably
because there's no pre-show match.
Yeah, no pre-show match. We don't know what's going on with the traditional Survivor Series. So we're just going to skip that entirely. You're talking about 25 years of Undertaker. Let's start there. We got Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatt family.
Wow, you threw big on this one.
I'm actually really torn.
Really?
On this one because you got the 25 years of the Undertaker. So it's like, you would think straight away Undertaker and Kane win. Because 25 years, they're celebrating. You would think that the Undertaker and Kane win, but it's like the Wyatt family. And what is it? Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman?
Yeah.
That's the thing?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I'll say this, okay? I'm going Undertaker and Kane for the 25 years of Undertaker thing. I don't know if they would build that up, the 25 years of Taker, and then just have him lose. But if the Undertaker and Kane lose, Kane's taking the pinfall or the submission or whatever.
May I make one statement, though? They didn't mention in the rules that any two members of the Wyatt family could participate in this match. So that, to my knowledge, that also says that anybody but Bray Wyatt could enter the match. If Bray was actually wrestling himself, then maybe it would be more up in the air. But since it's the first 25 years it's celebrating 25 years of The Undertaker, and Bray Wyatt himself does actually not have to participate in the match or get beat or look bad, I'm going to say that my guess is Undertaker and Kane.
The way they built up the 25 years of, the way they're building up the Survivor Series on like the pay-per-view commercials and all that, 25 years of Taker, like that's the main selling point. Yeah, at this point, I kind of have to go for the Undertaker and Kane. It's too big. Like, there was more ambiguity with the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, but so it could have gone any way. It could have gone any way. The Hell in a Cell match. That's why it was so hard to actually pick the winner for that. But they're going all in on the 25 years of Taker here.
Plus, with the added stipulation that, okay, the Undertaker, or not, the Wyatt family, that's the Bray Wyatt, the big patriarch of this whole thing. He doesn't have to actually be in the match, and he doesn't have to have any risk of getting pinned or look bad. That also tells me that Undertaker can have this big night that night, and
Bray Wyatt not lose,
and they can continue the one-on-one feud at a later time. Yes, Fool.
From what I understand that happened on SmackDown, Bray Wyatt said he was in the match, and he picked Braun Strowman as his partner.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear.
And this past week, what they did storyline-wise, I loved every second of it. The fact that, like, Taker and Kane came out on Monday night with the Druids and was saying that you can't, like, they had the Wyatt family may have taken us, but they can't control us and all of that. They can't consume our souls.
Yeah, their promo on Monday was excellent.
And then Bray Wyatt comes out and he says, "I still have power," and then he pretty much turned the Druids against Taker and Kane. I'm just like, holy shit!
That was cartoony, but it was so good.
It's Undertaker and Kane.
It's Undertaker, Kane, and Bray Wyatt. It has to be cartoony.
It's cartoony,
at this point.
But it's okay for it to be.
I know.
Cartoony.
I'm just saying. I'm saying it's cartoony, but it's the best, well executed kind of cartoon. Because it's perfect for them. I loved it.
I feel at this point they're going towards a rematch, a WrestleMania rematch.
I'm really hoping that's
the Undertaker retires, because it's basically like his retirement tour right now. Like, so it's like the Undertaker faces off against Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt finally becomes, like, legitimately the new face of fear. But because that's the way it feels like it's going. So for me, okay, for that to occur. See, because now I'm torn. Now that I know that Bray Wyatt, and now that it's completely sure that it's Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, because
I'm sticking to my guns.
Because I'm still gonna stay with the Undertaker and Kane. Okay, I just don't know how.
The only real way they can really keep this feud going and not make either of them look bad, but in this case, it's Taker. You can't make him look bad, but it's still
disqualification.
It's just a no contest.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. The match just goes out of control, and the ref loses complete control of the match, to which they have to continue the feud, because if there's a clean winner, then why keep the feud going?
So
actually, well, yeah, because the Undertaker has Bray Wyatt beat. Then the lights go out. And then the Wyatt family is there, whole bunch of Druids. They just come in and attack. And then the both of them, Undertaker and Kane, are taken out again.
Like, we're gonna get it right this time.
And then Undertaker is gone until the WrestleMania build-up. And then we go from there.
Okay. So, Fool, I don't think you put in your actual predictions. Who is actually going to win this thing?
The thing, like, I would like for it to be, like a no contest, but if I have to choose a clear winner, my heart is going for the Wyatt family, just because I want this to be a passing of the torch type of deal. But I'm not going to be thinking with my heart, because the last time I thought with my heart, Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar in Hell in the Cell.
All right, so
I'm choosing Taker and Kane because I'm thinking with my brain here, and it's just like what we said. It's 25 years of Taker. I would love to see the twist of Bray Wyatt beating Taker on his 25th Survivor Series.
First thing I thought you were going to say 25th birthday.
No.
Hey, if it's his 25th birthday, good, because we get 25 more years of Taker.
It's just like, what was I saying? The 25 years of Taker. It's just like, it's pretty much another version. Well, this one's a bigger deal because it's Taker, but it's like the Go to Hell tour for Brock Lesnar. Like, you knew he was gonna win.
And
so I'm gonna pick Taker and Kane just because I'm thinking WWE is not known for their, like, at least today's WWE is not really known for their, like,
subtlety,
subtle plot twists and all that. They're straight by the book, especially in Vince McMahon's case. It's his decision how things go, and I see him like, oh, Taker's got 25 years, he has to win.
You know what? In this case, probably not wrong.
There's too much of a selling point for this pay-per-view saying it's 25 years of Taker. Okay, the entire build of this pay-per-view, commercial-wise, they don't touch on the tournament. They don't touch on anything else. They just touch on 25 years of Taker. So it's like that much of a hard sell. Seems like they're pointing to Undertaker victory.
I just read it and it's confirmed Bray Wyatt and Strowman.
Yeah, boo.
But
I just don't feel like this is a feud that can end in a month. So either way,
not.
Say Undertaker and Kane win. Okay, maybe something happens afterwards that has Bray Wyatt standing tall, the Wyatt family standing tall.
It's also just thinking, maybe it's 25 years at Taker, and it's like, oh, this is Taker and Kane's revenge on what the Wyatt family did to them. But there's one thing. They already got their revenge on the Wyatt family for abducting them when they came back. Kane and Taker took them all out. So this is just, now we get the match.
Now it's all signed, sealed, and delivered. Unless it isn't.
I feel like they really did mess up with this.
They've backed themselves into a corner with like every match on this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
I hate to say it, but Seth Rollins' injury kind of hurt this pay-per-view.
Well,
in my opinion.
We'll get to that. Speaking of things going AWOL and awry here, I think we do need to discuss this next match. Charlotte versus Paige for the Divas Championship. Fellas, let's just get right to it. What did you think of the promo that closed out Raw? Yes, Brian.
See, here's the problem with the people going about this promo. Okay, I posted up a picture on Facebook. If you look on my normal page,
I think I know I think I've seen.
Okay, you've got. I forget what the first one was, but you've got
Randy Orton's.
Randy Orton. Eddie's down in hell, and people were like, okay, that's a little screwed up, but all right.
It's a picture of the South Park, computer guy with no life, dressed in all WWE stuff, not responding to that, and then they have different.
Then you
clips.
got the Vince McMahon death. Okay, then you got CM Punk with Paul Bearer's quote unquote ashes all over his head. And everything's fine at that point, and then Paige is saying something about Reed Flair, and everyone goes crazy. Okay, the problem it goes back to the problem with this day and age and the PC stuff.
You PC, bro?
Apparently, the fans are very PC, and so it's like. But here's the problem going into the match. Okay, the promo itself, is fine because it had consent of the person it was being said to. At this point, you don't have to have the consent of the family around. If Charlotte gave the okay, then it's okay. In my eyes.
Yeah, really, honestly, here's what my controversial opinion on this. I'm of the sort where there's so much cynicism and whatever have you surrounding pro wrestling these days, that's way harder than ever to be a legitimate heel.
Like, that was legitimate dick heel. Right there. That's it.
And now you know that people are going to want to see, are now more engaged than ever. People are talking about this match, the Big Divas title match, and now people are going to actually tune in to see Charlotte and Paige rip each other apart.
And that also goes into the problem with this match, okay? They've now backed themselves into a corner where this can't be a technical wrestling extravaganza. This has, like, I'm calling Paige by DQ.
Paige by DQ, really?
Because you don't want to kill Paige's heel turn by having her straight up lose in a massacre. And if they've booked themselves into a corner because now Charlotte just has to come out and beat the crap out of Paige. That's it.
But will she? Or can she?
But the WWE likes to do this. They booked themselves in. The only time they did it right was the Chris Jericho CM Punk stuff. Okay, because Chris Jericho is calling out all of CM Punk's family, and CM Punk beats the crap out of him in a Chicago street fight. That all the other times, okay, Randy Orton RKO's John Cena's dad, and John Cena wants to come out and lock up. When John Cena should be running out from the back and just beating the absolute crap out of Randy Orton. Okay, so the only way for this match to make sense for me, okay, it can't be a technical wrestling match. It can't be. I'm calling Paige by DQ because Charlotte comes out, beats the crap. Paige gets some shots in at the beginning, like they're going back and forth and all that, and then Charlotte just loses the plot, and maybe gets her in the corner, or is beating her down, and doesn't recognize the referee doing the 5 count in the end, and then the match gets called, and she just keeps going, and they go all the way to the back, just Charlotte beating the crap out of Paige for the slights to her family and all that noise. I just don't. There has to be an element of, you can't say that crap about Reed Flair and the whole that and expect, oh, this is going to be a great technical wrestling match. If it is, for me, it's bullshit.
Well, personally, I don't see anyone really talking about it, and plus these ladies seem smart enough where they wouldn't let that happen. Here, let me just propose that an alternative here. Here's what I think is going to happen. Indulge me a little bit of fancy booking here.
If you say anything about El Dandy, I will.
No,
hurt
seriously,
you.
I'm not talking about El Dandy. I'm trying to be mostly.
I don't know. It's like it's hard to trust you with these elaborate plots.
We hear fantasy booking, and the first thing that comes into our head is El Dandy beating Bill Goldberg's streak.
It's either El Dandy or DVD Phil.
Oh, please, that was months ago. Come on.
That was years ago.
And you're still bringing it up?
Yes, because it was that fucking bad.
Okay. Just stick with me right here, okay? We go into the match. Paige, Charlotte. Charlotte comes at Paige right out of the gate. Just keeps wailing on her. Paige is just taking it and giving it just as much. Eventually devolves into a more heavy-hitting wrestling match. Charlotte gets all riled up, gets frustrated, really wants to wail on her. Maybe Paige reverses something, gets a page turner, does whatever. Beats Charlotte, becomes the new women's champion. This obviously doesn't sit well with her. So, what's the pay-per-view in December? I don't even remember.
Royal Rumble.
TLC.
TLC. Yeah,
TLC.
January is Royal. Yeah, TLC.
If you really think they're doing a Divas title match in a TLC or a ladders, tables, or chairs, it's not gonna happen.
Follow me. We get at TLC the return match. Charlotte's like, okay, I lost my cool, I admit, but if I focus up, if I really give this my best shot, I can beat Paige for the title. I know I'm a champion. I can do it. TLC comes along. They have their big rematch. Wrestle. 1, 2, 3, Paige wins again. So eventually, Charlotte's out of the running, has to start right from back to the beginning. Paige apparently is on a really nasty, savage streak. Can't be stopped. I mean, if Charlotte can't beat her, I mean, who can?
Oh, God. Here comes Asuka.
Who can beat... Well, first of all, who else has beaten Charlotte before? Next month, we get set up for an even bigger match.
Paige versus Sasha Banks?
At the Royal Rumble, thank you very much.
I don't see that happening.
No.
Really?
I can see the beginning. I can see the Charlotte gets so riled up she forgets what she's doing. She goes too hard, like misses whatever she's planning, and Paige gets a lucky move and wins the title. I can see that. And Sasha Banks will get her shot at some point.
It's just one way to do it.
But here's the problem, okay? Sasha Banks is not turning face at this point.
Well, she's not really anything. She's more of a tweener. She's Sasha, and she's massively over.
Paige is gonna win.
Are we all in consensus here? By the way, fool.
No, I'm not.
No? You think you're calling Charlotte?
I'm calling Charlotte, but I don't think this is the end of the feud. Charlotte may just get it in response to in revenge for Reed, but the one thing I think you said she's gonna go right out the gates. I don't even think she's gonna allow Paige to come out through the ramp. I think she's gonna hop out of the ring and attack Paige, and it's gonna be 10 minutes of the match outside the ring, and the bell hasn't even rung yet.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. So get that sort of brawling.
Get the brawling starting in the beginning, and then start it as an actual technical match. And
I can also see the match not even beginning to begin with, like Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins style.
Oh, I see it. It starting. Maybe even just if anything, if it's going to be an end, like maybe a double count out to that extent. I can be perfectly honest. I do see them doing some kind of Divas match with a stipulation at TLC. Hence, I actually think they're going to do a ladder match.
Now that I would love to see a women's ladder match.
A women's ladder with Charlotte and Paige.
They can pull it off.
But I do think Charlotte will get the win, but they're gonna keep the feud going.
I don't think there's a pin or a submission here. I'm going Paige will win by disqualification.
Okay.
Either Paige will win by the title will not change hands.
No, it won't.
I don't believe the title will change hands, whether it's a double count out, a no contest, or a disqualification. But I think it's too raw right now. It's too close for Charlotte to be anything. This cannot be a technical wrestling match.
And I don't think it will be.
No, I mean, like, there's... Because as my example stated before, Randy Orton beats the crap out of John Cena's dad. Mm-hmm. Okay? If Randy Orton beat the crap out of your dad, what would you do? He wouldn't even get down the ramp before you're attacking him from behind and beating his ass all over ringside. Okay? No, John Cena walks out to the ring. Let's lock up. It makes no sense. So at this point, at the beginning, there has to be a massive beatdown. Okay, whether it's they're both beating down each other or Charlotte attacks from behind or anything like that. Because you forget, Charlotte will probably be coming out last.
Not necessarily.
I believe that Charlotte will be coming out last because she's the champion. It's weird. Only like I've only seen World Heavyweight title matches recently where the champion doesn't come out.
Oh no, quite the contrary. I've seen plenty of matches where the champion comes out first.
But I just feel like it's too emotional now that she brought the family into it, especially the death of Reed Flair. Like, I can see her going off the rails and just beating the crap out of Paige and getting disqualified. I can see it. And that, for me, is what I actually want to happen. Because you still get the continuation of the feud. Nobody really wins.
I see this as being a multiple. We all see this as this feud going no matter what. And yes, I do. Yeah, Paige is not walking out with the belt, but I do think for the first match, we're gonna have one deciding victory with Charlotte getting the win. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, you may beat me. It's like you may have won this battle, but the war is still going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot. I'm noticing that there's quite a bit of that.
There is going to be like out of control situations. Hence, like I said, she's gonna not even let Paige come on down, and it's gonna be at least a 10-minute brawl outside before, and then the match starts. It'll the match itself will probably most of the time will probably take place outside the ring. And then it will become a technical match to an extent, with still the emotions run high, because even the John Cena Randy Orton thing, it may have its personal moments with the brawling, it still stayed in the ring for the most part. Mm-hmm. So I still see this being like still a technical match, but still it's like technical with the emotions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can have both. It's not like there has to be one or the other. It's just, the way Cena did it is just, that is obviously wrong.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's
dumb. Don't do that.
Yeah, it was the Royal Rumble, and it was boring as all get out, and I was falling asleep at Hooters.
But here's the thing.
I remember that.
But no, wait. The difference between that is we've seen Cena and Orton how many times? And this one is...
all the times.
And this one is Charlotte and Flair on the main roster.
Charlotte and Flair.
Everyone gets one mistake. Charlotte and Paige for the first time on the main roster for the top women's title, even though it's the butterfly belt. I hate that. I hate that belt so much.
We're talking so much about 10 minutes outside of the ring. The match has got to be like 5.
Yeah.
Minutes, legit. Like, not even the 10 minutes outside the ring. It's got to be like 5 minutes. Yeah. And there's got to be a clear victory, and it's got to be fucking lockups.
Hey, there's infinite ways this could go down. That's why we focus on the winners.
That's why I still would love to see a Paige versus Charlotte ladder match at the next pay-per-view.
You know what?
That's agreed by all.
It's more likely than ever.
That's agreed by all.
Then, hell, just from this feud alone, this is the real start of the Divas Revolution.
Make that the TLC match.
If they do it right.
You made fun of the death of my brother. Okay, make that the TLC match and have everything fucking go down.
Okay, moving on.
Yes. Now, let's just jump right into the meat and potatoes of this pay-per-view. As if there wasn't enough meat to go around.
Please don't go where I think you're going.
I'm talking about the tournament.
Okay. I thought you were doing something. Okay.
I'm a good boy tonight. Leave me alone. We're talking about the finals of the WWE World Heavyweight Title Tournament. The big Final Four. Roman Reigns, Alberto Del Rio, Dean Ambrose, and Kevin Owens. Guys, I'm just going to get right to it. Has this all go down?
Okay, let's face it, okay? This is shaping up for a Shield final.
So you're both saying Reigns and Ambrose?
Reigns and Ambrose. It's just a matter of who turns in the end.
I said this last week. I pretty much made it official last week. I'm choosing Roman Reigns heel turn.
Because let's face it, okay.
A Roman Reigns heel turn, so you're saying Roman Reigns wins?
Yes.
Okay.
That was my thought as well. Because let's face it, okay. Dean Ambrose is quite possibly the most over superstar on the roster right now.
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna turn that? You're gonna turn that heel? Well, it's the WWE, so they might. But it's the smarter move, in my opinion. Roman Reigns has been getting beat down by the Authority since what? Since he came back from the injury last year. Okay, he's been getting beaten down, taken out, and all that. He's been getting screwed out of title matches left and right. So he's like, if you can't beat him, join him. Okay, and Dean Ambrose, okay, imagine, okay, one of his buddies turns on him and see how crazy he became after one. Now the other one turns on him. I want to see how crazy this cat can get. And let's face it, the loser is winning the Royal Rumble. The loser of this match for me, unless Brock Lesnar is in the Royal Rumble, which could possibly happen. I'm not ruling it out. The loser of this match and the losers of the two before that will be the final three in the Royal Rumble. Maybe add in a Bray Wyatt for the 4 or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But in my eyes, the final three of the Royal Rumble is the loser of the final match. Whoever doesn't turn heel. Okay, you've got Kevin Owens and you've got Alberto Del Rio. The three guys that they are going out of their way to build up at this point in time. Okay, so you made a mistake with Roman Reigns last year. Okay, you turn Roman Reigns heel, have him win the title at Survivor Series, because I had a feeling he was going to win at Survivor Series. Whether Rollins...
The Meltzer reports did say that Roman Reigns was set to win.
Whether Rollins was champion or not. Okay, so have Roman Reigns win the title. Have him turn heel. Dean Ambrose winning the Royal Rumble. You get that pop. You get the grandeur of. You finally get a good Royal Rumble winner after the last 2 years. You get the good taste of the Royal Rumble back in your mouth. Okay, and then you have Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose, main event, WrestleMania. Damn.
I actually saw this promotional poster, fan art, but it's the title match, Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns with Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. That would be an interesting
I would be
twist.
down.
But yeah, I 150% agree with you, Brian. The loser is winning the Royal Rumble, hence Dean Ambrose is winning the Rumble. But really look at this.
So you're saying Roman Reigns wins?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a heel turn, and the one difference with Roman Reigns joining the Authority over Seth Rollins joining the Authority, Roman Reigns has made it clear that no matter what happens, they will always be brothers. Seth Rollins made the whole turn against the Shield personal. This one is not going to be personal. It's like it's not personal. It's just business. With Dean Ambrose turning heel and joining the Authority, doesn't make sense. Dean Ambrose doesn't need the Authority to get over. Roman Reigns does. Roman Reigns turning heel, it'll be, I've said this plenty of times, this will be the mirror image of what happened with The Rock. He's in the exact same position as The Rock.
A lot of people have been saying that.
And yes. Roman Reigns, the look of Roman Reigns screams badass heel.
He definitely looks more heel, and he looks like he can be the corporate guy. And once again, back to mirroring the Rock, he went over as a heel to a point like we hate him, but then like throughout the time him being a heel, then we will get the crowd who does hate him to like him, and then they can turn him as a face, and now he establishes his character as the corporate champion, and now he'll become, quote unquote, the new people's champion.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the first WWE Championship reign for The Rock in an actual round robin style tournament?
The first WWE Championship for The Rock was the Deadly Games tournament, the one that they did for
because the final was him versus Mankind. Correct?
The final was him versus Mankind, and The Rock turned and went to the
corporation.
Yeah. It's a mirror image, and that was the thought.
I have one question. After The Rock won his first title, I remember the pay-per-view the next month was Rock Bottom.
Yes.
Yeah. Which actually was really, really fun.
I love those in-your-house pay-per-views.
At
least most of them, yeah.
And it was like a buried alive match, wasn't it?
No,
or there was a buried. It was the Undertaker and Stone Cold.
Yeah,
that was the
Buried
Alive.
Mm-hmm. I used to love that pay-per-view so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just have to ask this: if after The Rock won his first, are they gonna and they did in your house Rock Bottom? If Roman Reigns wins this Sunday, are they gonna have in your house Believe That?
No.
Oh, no!
No,
don't do that.
As hilarious as that is, no, they're not doing that. But if they have Roman Reigns win the title and turn heel, he's on the poster of TLC.
Yeah.
TLC,
Believe That.
You believe that, yeah. But yeah, Roman Reigns would benefit a lot more joining up with the Authority, being the new
because then he has a mouthpiece and he doesn't have to give us the weekly recap in every week in his Raw promos.
This isn't boring. This is real life.
I actually liked that promo kind of at that point because he was yelling at the crowd
because he was fighting back.
But you know what?
So it's like you have that and have him be an actual heel.
But you know what? If you're trying to market this guy as the face of the WWE, he shouldn't be you shouldn't have to enjoy the promo. Kind of, you need to just enjoy the promo and say it's good.
We're not disagreeing with you on that point.
And him having the Authority as a mouthpiece, and then he says something to it's important when he says it, and then he'll actually not fully read off a script. He will say something as the man, not the wrestler.
Because
then we will start getting invested in him because that would further his character. Dean Ambrose doesn't need that. He doesn't need. He already has.
He's got the character.
He already has the full-fledged character that we are all invested in.
You're not wrong.
And and honestly, so yeah, WWE needs a top heel, and you need a strong top heel, and who actually has the look and the strength, and really the ability. Because I have nothing against him in the ring.
I have a thought about that.
No, it's for me. Okay, the main problem is his character.
And
you can say all you want that all the people in his matches carried him to a good match. I will fight you on this every time, because Cesaro versus Reigns,
amazing.
Okay, amazing match, and it wasn't only Cesaro. I'm looking on Twitter, I'm seeing all this crap. Yes, Cesaro did a lot of the work.
Cesaro was the one, really controlling the match. But Roman Reigns had just as much input in that match. And Cesaro just had a little more because he is the more experienced.
I have no issues with Roman Reigns in the ring. You put him with the Authority, give him a mouthpiece. Give him time to work on his character in the back. Don't have him promo or anything like that. Have Triple H speak for him and all that noise. Okay, so it gives him time to work on his stuff. There's no issue with him in the ring for me. So just have him go out in the ring. Excuse my French. Fuck shit up, and move on from there. That was how they should have had. That's how they had him to begin with the Shield. Okay, because you had Dean Ambrose and later on Seth Rollins as the mouthpiece, because Seth Rollins wasn't a good character to begin with either. But you gave him enough time behind Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins' character came out.
Exactly. And when you have Dean Ambrose being since we actually brought up Mankind, he's the mixture of Stone Cold and Mankind.
And Brian Pillman. He's more Brian Pillman than anything else.
Well,
in my opinion.
He can be a great mixture of the Mankind character and the Stone Cold character. That's how I look at him now.
Until I saw more of what Brian Pillman brought to the table, I would have agreed with you.
I'm not he can be like another Brian Pillman, but I just don't think Brian Pillman is his own animal, and Dean Ambrose is his own animal, just with booking wise, the craziness of Mankind, but the overall technical experience and overness of Stone Cold.
And also, let's face it, for the end of this match, okay, if Dean Ambrose turns, you are not going to get the reaction that you want to get.
Well,
okay,
hold on here. Hold that thought, because I need to get this out here before we wrap up or move on or whatever. I am personally not convinced that they won't turn Dean Ambrose heel. And I'll explain why. From a business standpoint and it's just not... First of all, I don't believe it's outside of their character to make a dumb move like that. Like, personally, I'm all on board with that. But I'm the way you've been booking how they would handle this entire thing between Reigns and Ambrose makes total sense. I'm on board.
But this is the WWE. I understand exactly where you're coming from.
But that doesn't mean that decision comes from a point of cynicism, and it doesn't mean they can't make it work. Let's face it, Dean Ambrose is gold on the mic. If anyone can make a reasonable-looking heel and make it really, really work, it can be someone with the talking ability of Dean Ambrose. From a business standpoint, let's face it, they can basically pull a Kevin Owens where he can say they're still going to be selling a crap ton of t-shirts, but it's going to be the people who are going to be buying his shirts anyway, namely guys like us. Meanwhile, if they still want to if they're absolutely dead set, if they're absolutely dead set on making Roman Reigns a mega face, this will give him more time to chase, more time to work, more time to grow, possibly even more time to get a mouthpiece of some sort. Any number of things. But whether it's partially me just wanting to see Dean Ambrose win the big one, or just something for him to do, this is going to be my big... I'm just saying this to mostly be contrarian. Like maybe 50 to 60% contrarian. I'm not convinced that Dean Ambrose won't walk away with it. He still has a chance.
See, because I'm also of the mind where I want to see Dean Ambrose win the big one. I want to see Dean Ambrose win the big one at WrestleMania. That's my big thing.
You're not wrong.
The only thing I would have to argue with you, fool, is yes, Dean Ambrose can pull off a great heel. We've seen it. It's just I feel like he can explain himself and it will make sense, but I just don't feel like it's the right time for him to turn heel. I want Dean Ambrose to turn heel at some point? Absolutely. He will flourish as a heel. I just feel like right now it's not the right time for him to turn heel.
Which is why I have a nasty feeling that's when the WWE will do it.
And also, okay, I understand the WWE has their heads up their asses at the best of times. It also doesn't make a lick of sense for Dean Ambrose's character, and I have no idea how they're gonna pull that off. Dean Ambrose siding with the Authority, the people who stomped his head through cinder blocks, okay, almost ended his career. Okay, it's different between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Okay, because they legitimately tried to end Dean Ambrose's career, storyline-wise. Not legitimately, it was just enough to put him out for that time to make his movie. But and also, Dean Ambrose is a loose cannon. That's his entire character. Okay, so it's like the Authority makes a long-term investment in Dean Ambrose. It makes no sense for the Authority either. It makes no sense for either of the two to join together.
From what we know, you're not wrong.
So it's
however,
and Dean Ambrose, I don't feel like Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose, is the type to be bought.
You're probably not wrong.
So it's like, what if Dean Ambrose turns heel? It can't be to side with the Authority. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Like, it'll probably happen. You're at some point. It'll probably happen, but I'm gonna be sitting there like, the match was great. This makes no fucking sense.
But you know what?
And there's no way they'd be able to justify it to me. There's no possible
way that they would be able to justify it. But if need be, I'm more convinced that Dean Ambrose could find a way to spin it.
It just wouldn't feel natural to me.
Right. It wouldn't feel natural to me either.
That's the one problem with it.
And that's and that's why I just have this nasty gut feeling that's...
But there's also that whole thing where Dean Ambrose has been going up to Roman Reigns before his number one contenders matches or any of that, and it's like, you were this close at WrestleMania, then Seth Rollins screwed you. You were this close at Money in the Bank, then Bray screwed you. You're here again. So that puts pause in my head.
It doesn't for me.
It kind of does.
It really doesn't for me. That, like, really, trying to look back at the past year for Roman Reigns, he has been booked as a top face. A really big top face. He won the Royal Rumble. He faced Daniel Bryan, the most over guy at the time. He faced against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and held his own. And
was
then
laughing at Brock Lesnar as he was F5ing him.
Yeah. And then he had one of the most, like, he had a very in my opinion, successful feud with Bray Wyatt. And at that point, Dean Ambrose came in as the backup because they're brothers, and now Dean Ambrose is slowly rising back up to that top spot since his feud with Seth Rollins. Having Dean Ambrose be like, okay, I'm building back up as my face, and then turn heel. At least this one we already have. Yeah, we were already like invested in the quote unquote career of Roman Reigns. So now we can invest in his character once he fully turns heel and explains his actions, and it shows it's for business, and that's why he's made it clear. No matter what happens, we'll always be brothers. No matter what happens. So that's why it's like him turning against Dean Ambrose, it won't be anything personal like how Seth Rollins did it.
Yeah, this could go any number of ways. Really.
Well, let's face it, just straight up. Okay, the final match is going to be Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. Yeah, they've been building it up the whole time.
I say Del Rio is going to lose clean, and I see Kevin Owens losing by like a distraction. And they've been hinting at it for a while. They've been hinting him and Goldust. They've been hinting at that for a while, Intercontinental feud for a while.
That would be interesting.
Goldust versus Kevin Owens.
I buy into it, but
I buy it because it's been very clear. It's like keep that even Goldust is telling Kevin Owens keep that Intercontinental title warm for me.
And so it comes down to Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns, and at that point, it's just a question of who's going to turn. Because it's the tournament, it's Survivor Series. The last time there was a tournament at Survivor Series, we got The Rock turning, and him turning into the biggest face of all time, basically, at that point in time.
And we can see his cousin following the same footsteps. I'm just going to say this right now. I'm going to say this right now. If they turn Dean Ambrose heel and keep Roman Reigns the face, I am going to basically drop. I'm like going to be borderline wanting to cancel my subscription. I won't do it, but I'll be very, very close to be like, okay, really? You people are just making the dumbest decisions you can possibly do.
Because Roman Reigns turning to the Authority makes sense.
Because people are behind Ambrose, and you are trying to force them to be behind Reigns. Don't try and force it. Let it be natural. That's the thing. That's the point. We want to be naturally behind him. And seeing how he develops as a heel and gets people invested in his character, that's how we'll naturally be behind him.
And I've had my heart broken enough times to realize that.
Yeah.
And if they
don't always get it.
There's always a thought in the back of your head.
And Brian, you've said it earlier. If they turn Dean Ambrose heel, it's going to be the reaction they don't want. They're going to be cheering it. They're going to be so happy that Dean Ambrose has turned heel, and since we said they're going to repeat, they're going to have the loser win the Royal Rumble. everyone's going to be pissed off again that Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Just seeing where this conversation has been going tonight, honestly, this is that rare moment where I honestly feel like I don't really know what's going to happen.
For me,
this can go a number of ways.
I don't know what's going to happen.
It's a fork in the road.
On this pay-per-view.
It's a fork in the road. For me, the side of Roman Reigns turning heel is the nice, calm way. Dean Ambrose turning heel is the dark, disgusting way where there's full of dangers. And by full of dangers is the crowd turning against the product.
Yeah, because it's...
Wow, that metaphor actually got a lot more deep than I wanted it to
go. Here's the deal, okay?
You know what? That's Dean Ambrose to where this is going. Dean
Ambrose will spin it, but he's Dean Ambrose. The crowd will still cheer him.
That's what I said.
So, if Dean Ambrose turns heel, it's already a fail. It's already failed.
Mm-hmm.
From no fault of Dean Ambrose at all. Like, Dean Ambrose will do all the heelish crap, and the crowd will just be like, ah! Because it's better than Roman Reigns. That's it.
Well, that's not hard. But anyway, that's why we're just sticking to just straight up predictions of winners and that kind of thing. Otherwise,
so we're going
we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah, so apparently Reigns. From what Tarek and I were saying, we're going Reigns with the heel turn, Reigns with the win.
Okay, I'm still I can't tear myself away from Dean Ambrose, so I'm just going to stick to my guns and see what happens. But in the meantime, we also want to hear what you think. Obviously, this is a big, complicated type of way this could go. A big-time show at Survivor Series. So let us know what you think. Drop us a line at all the usual avenues. You can always leave us a comment on this video. Like this video. Give us a subscribe button. Hit on the face. I am tripping over my words.
You know what? Just do that over again.
Okay, let's rewind. Drop us a line on our Facebook page, Scholars of Wrestling Show. You can also contact us on our Twitter machines. I am... what's my name? I was about to go into the Scholars... Okay, let's rewind that again.
Lovely cheap plugs.
Bloopers! Blooper reel!
Wow, we've been talking about Roman Reigns too much. See what happens?
you were just putting all blame on Reigns on this one.
Yes.
Good
Something
job.
Happens, that's our Reigns. Ba-doop-boop.
We've been talking about Reigns for 15 minutes and his brain is gone.
All right.
Any questions?
Yes. Twitter handles at ScholarsOW. I'm Robbie Rage. Fool.
I'm at the Avataric.
Other fool.
I'm at Atomic Beanpole.
Yes, look us up on Facebook, The Scholars of Wrestling Show. Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, do all the things. Yay. Join the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, join the conversation. It's a lot of fun. Part of new technology, I guess. Woohoo.
Okay.
Internet wrestling community, ahoy. Anyway, I'm still looking forward to this Sunday. I know everyone else is too. Are you?
Oh, of course.
Are you?
CC.
And you know what? You know what else? We're the Scholars of Wrestling. You have just been schooled. You're
welcome.
See you then.
You just
This is just a lesson. Injuries fuck shit up.
Here's the lesson. Fool, you just gotta get Roman Reigns off your brain.
No!